Here is how you can advance past someone with double or triple your work experience. The secret is an interpretation of deliberate practice applied to the work environment. You may already know what deliberate practice is. Many professional athletes and musicians credit their 10,000 hours of deliberate practice as the reason they are top of their field. But this volume approach doesn't work at work because the majority of us do many different things throughout the day and don't have the ability to devote 10,000 hours to a single skill. Instead, in a corporation, we want to put a spin on deliberate practice and adapt it to the worker environment. Instead of deliberate practice, we want to incorporate loop learning. Here is what loop learning looks like: measure, feedback, modify, do/redo, measure. In order to maximize this loop, you will want to take your skill that you want to increase and break it down into bite sized chunks. For example, Excel can be broken into categories: pivot tables, formulas, templates, and so forth. Management can be broken up into goal setting, 1v1s, running meetings, and so forth. Zero in on one of those smaller sub skills and focus on improving it 15 minutes a day. Practice leads to output, which can be measured. Make sure you apply it in the real world, which will give you instant feedback. Modify your practice based on that feedback. Practice again and start back at measuring or practically applying it to the world. For example, if you are focusing on Excel pivot tables, then you would spend 15 minutes a day learning and applying what you learned into a pivot table that you would actually use at work. Apply it to a process to see if it gets the outcome you desire. If it doesn't, then you take that feedback and educate yourself on how to fix it. Put the fix in place and retest it until you get it right. Do this for 15 minutes a day, and that sub skill will dramatically increase. And once it is where you want it to be, you can move on to the next sub skill. If you are developing a soft skill, it can be a bit difficult to get proper feedback. Technology is easy, it either works or it doesn't, but people are a bit harder. You want to make sure your feedback is actionable and clear. For example, if you are focusing on running productive meetings and are getting feedback from your boss or your team, stay clear of broad questions like, "How was that?" You will only get a broad answer in return. Instead, ask for specifics. Was it too long? How could my pacing be improved? What is one thing I should do less of and one thing I should do more of? Focus on clear, actionable feedback instead of unclear feedback so that you can apply that feedback into your next practice run. Now, if you don't know where to start or are comfortable where you are, then I would encourage you to take on small experiments and build some momentum. If you are not growing, you are dying. You really need to evolve if you want to move up at work, and starting small is a great way to start building that habit. So, how does this enable you to surpass your colleagues with 2 or 3 times your experience? When you maintain the learning loop, you evolve faster than they do and can quickly catch up and surpass their level of experience. This has been my experience. Even when my colleagues had 3 times my experience time wise, I implemented the learning loop and focused on improvement. This enabled me to evolve faster than their experience could maintain its lead, and I eventually surpassed them. Most people do not focus on improvement, so by you implementing the learning loop, you will set yourself apart, evolve faster, and set yourself up for those promotions and raises. If you don't make enough money at work and you want to fast track your career success without a college degree, then check out the link down below. It will give you access to my courses and resources for free, and those courses and resources will give you the information and the tools you need to fast track your career success so you can quickly gain promotions and raises at